And we're live.
And
I'm over here looking for creepy subreddits, and I saw something I didn't want to see.
What'd you see?
I'm afraid of. So I only have one fear. Do you remember what my fear is?
Lassophobia.
The only thing that. Well, everybody's afraid of the unknown deep of the ocean, right? It's really the fear of the unknown, I suppose, to some extent. But as far as like classical monsters, if you will, Frankenstein, bullshit, right? You know, werewolves, bullshit. Bring it. I'm not afraid of any of these things. Aliens. I'm afraid of aliens. Because you can't fight an alien, you can't shoot an alien, you can't argue with an alien. He sees you as a lower life form. He's got higher technology, higher intelligence. He sees you as a farm animal.
So not like the specific movie Aliens, not like that type of.
Oh no, not those are called xenomorphs.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not afraid of xenomorphs because they are fictional, and they live on another planet far from here. So no need to fear them. I'm afraid of the large-eyed gray aliens specifically. If you ever watch The Fifth Kind, or
The Fifth Element?
No, The Fifth Kind.
Okay.
Let me try to find a thing of it. It's about alien abduction. Fire in the Sky. These are some of the scariest movies I've ever seen, and they really terrify me. Let's watch this trailer for a minute. No,
my computer has been, for whatever reason, is not running well tonight. I thought things were great. We really got to get the new one cooking. But if I watch a video, I'm positive the audio's going to be jumpy and crackly.
That was the wrong trailer anyway. That was something else that was also scary. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It says The Fifth Kind trailer. I can see why you thought it was right.
Because I was wrong. It's The Fourth Kind. Oh. That's the movie with Mila Jovovich.
Kind's fine.
Yeah, The Fifth Kind looks scary too, but fuck that. It's probably not nearly as scary as The Fourth Kind. Okay, like I watched this movie, and I couldn't sleep. I was afraid. I watched this shit when I was like 27. Mm-hmm. Like this is like I was a little kid, and I watched Fire in the Sky when I was like 12 years old. Fucked me up. In both of these cases, both these movies are about alien abduction, and they are loosely based on, I'm using air quotes, true stories that have well documented like police records and eyewitness testimony and stuff like that. Like basically something went on, and there are people who say that aliens were involved. I'm not saying that they're true stories, but they are based. There's some sort of structure there that seems true enough that it adds a realistic sort of tone to what you're watching, and that makes it even more horrifying. Yeah, I'm afraid of aliens. And what I saw was, when I was looking for weird subreddits, was this gif of a gray alien with those big fucking eyes coming out of somebody's closet, and that horrifies me. That scares me so goddamn bad.
Did you watch that video Chiz linked about finding aliens and why that would be so terrible for us?
I've watched a lot of those. I really find that stuff interesting. There's a lot of cool YouTube channels that talk. What's it called? There's some sort of filter about
this.
I watch a lot about alien life and the possibility of it, and why we may have not contacted or come into contact with it yet. It's really interesting to me.
Yeah, he had I had never seen anyone describe what he described. He was like, we have telescopes and we have satellites and we can see really far, and we look out into the vast universe, and we found nothing, no hints of any life whatsoever as far as we can look. So he's like, why is that? Is it that, he says, there has to be some sort of filter. It could be that the filter is one we already passed, where it's really hard to create life from no life, period. Right? That could be it. It could be that the filter was somewhere along the way, where it's really hard to go from a single cell to a multi-cell organism, right? It could be that the filter is in front of us, something we haven't hit yet, right? Because the universe is very old, right? Practically endlessly old, from our perspective. It would be weird that we're the most advanced to have ever advanced. If there's a filter in front of us, like, hey, once people figure out how to go from planet to planet quickly, something obliterates their world. And he's like, if the filter is in front of us, that means that there's probably something that people are repeatedly learning that gets themselves killed. It could be
Yeah.
AI, it could be nanotechnology, or something that just ends there.
Thermonuclear weapons.
Sure. And I don't know. He's like, so if we meet someone who's on the other side of that filter, it is really bad news. I wish I could lay it out quite like he did, but it was
Yeah.
interesting. It's like, yeah, we can see pretty far at this point, right? We're pretty confident that there's no life nearby. And by nearby, that I don't know what that even means. 10 light years, like
Well, we haven't got any radio signals, but we don't know that they would use radio signals. And like we have no what, we can't see them, but would we be able to see them? But I was watching a video about these things called von Neumann probes, and the idea is that you have this self-replicating
Von Neumann?
space von Neumann.
Is that how it's pronounced?
VONNEUMANN, something like that. And it's these self-replicating space probes that they say that, if it would be how an advanced civilization would.
Yeah, you build a robot, it shoots it off, lands somewhere. The robot's whole command is basically build another copy, do 2 copies of yourself, shoot off to 2 more, and that any spacefaring civilization of a further enough technological, you'd see remnants of them from this. Remnants,
Yes.
rather. Yeah.
And the thing is, we haven't found one yet. One hasn't contacted us yet. So there's all these theories about why haven't we? So either there are none because there's never been intelligent life intelligent enough to create one, even though it's sort of it would happen if there were intelligent life. It's sort of an obvious step to.
it seems
to
like we're 300
explore.
years from that.
The video suggested we're very close to it. I don't know. Or maybe there's one in our solar system right now, sitting asleep, waiting, to maybe every 10 million years it scans us, right? 10 million years ago, there wasn't anything to know about. 1 million years ago, there wasn't anything to report back, right? So there's that possibility. Or maybe it's sitting there waiting, watching until we do get to a certain point in technology. And then it messages, maybe it just zaps us with gamma radiation and sets us back.
I feel like you can see human life on Earth from really far away. The way our
'cause
cities light things up.
It's not even that. We've been actively broadcasting into everywhere forever. We do this with radio waves. We do this actively. We send out probes that are, broadcasting this information, attempting to look for life. And it's, I'm a big science fiction guy. I read a lot of science fiction, and that is a questionable strategy on some way of looking at that, because you're essentially announcing to yourself, and who's going to find you? Anyone with better technology than you, are the people who are actually going to be able to follow up on that. The people who can, if they can do it, if it's ever something that is something they do in this world, can move faster than light, or who can hear your radio signal, backtrack, and then find you. And it's like, that's a pretty stupid technique on some level.
The little bit I know about Civ compared to you has actually impacted my line of thinking about how to run a country, how to lead a nation, how to run a planet. I feel like you send out scouts. Great. Now that place knows you're nearby.
Yeah.
It's a risky thing to do. And in guns versus butter, where you invest your economic resources. A lot of my thinking around that is influenced by civilizations.
Yeah. What would and if they did find us and they were interested in us, if they replied back with a message, what would that message be? What would they reply back? We're coming. Submit. Would the message say hello, greetings? Would it say help us, please? Like what would it say? Would it be a warning? Would it be a long data stream and binary code that needed to be compiled, and it's secrets technologies? Maybe it's like contact.
Your natural resources.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be it.
We're thinking about coming. We don't have much water. What you got?
But water is so prevalent in the universe, and it's so easy to make, right? That's one thing I don't think it would be. In Independence Day, the Will Smith movie, they wanted our planet, they wanted to gobble up our resources, but the universe is just full of resources, and if they're advanced enough to get here, then they're advanced enough to make water from hydrogen and oxygen. I don't think that would be it. So I think I think they would either see us as pets, or maybe someone they could teach. Or or what if it's some sort of artificial intelligence that was created long ago by an advanced race that has decided that all sentient biological life is a plague upon the universe and needs to be stamped out? That would be the
That's
scariest
what
thing.
we'd do, right? If
We've
we
read
went to
those.
another planet and we were like, oh yeah, the only thing here is robots. We can do anything, fuck it. They're not even life, right? Or if we said, yeah, we went here, but there's no intelligent lives. There's just a bunch of like koala type things. We can do anything we want. That's what we do. They'd have to be as smart as us to get our respect. And if they found us, then of course, we're probably not the smart ones.
Yeah, it's a really scary proposition. Everybody wants it to be Star Trek, where everybody's pretty much on the same level of evolution. But I don't think that's the least likely event. Of course, Star Trek explains why everybody's virtually on the same level. I'm not going to go
Do
stupid.
they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, so
They
there's
actually have an explanation. That's good because it's totally
absolutely.
It's
so
a big hole if they don't.
They discover genetic parallels between all of the major races in the Star Trek
Okay, it's like
universe,
a
and
progenitor style.
exactly. Someone had seeded the universe, the galaxy actually, with their own genetic platform, and had evolved into these bipedal life forms that became Vulcans or Cardassians or Klingons or humans, and so they all had a common ancestor basically, and that's why everybody was virtually on the same tech scale. Basically looked alike, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth, bipedal, all that stuff.
It's crazy. I think as much of aliens as I do when I think of the zombie apocalypse.
Really?
Always a great story, makes great for a movie, but the reality is like slim to none. And over the years, it's just been so many individuals that everybody stops long enough to look into outer space, whether it's late at night, whatever the case may be, might be high, might be drunk, it really doesn't matter, to think what is actually beyond, and is there more? And the more you begin to think about this, the more you start to believe that there is. And once you share your story with other individuals, they too will begin to believe. If another individual starts to believe on something that may or may not exist, it becomes the world's biggest story. But the reality is we'll all be dead well before anything ever happens.
I've been working on zombies for about 8 months now. I have 18 homeless men in a shipping container that I've dosed with rabies, and that I've been abusing and leaving in the hot sun every day.
Back on your sex life again.
They've gone insane. They are just filled with nothing but bloodlust. I feed them roadkill. They're ready to unleash themselves upon the populace.
I hear that. I can respect that, Kyle.
I think if you release it in Florida, then you'll get away with it.
Nobody would notice.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just blend in with the population.
Yeah.
Now, being the fact they're homeless, have you at least offered these gentlemen those quality jeans that you're wearing? The pajama jeans. Are they all rocking pajama jeans?
They turned me on to the pajama jeans. I mean, they got some good ideas. I mean, you don't live on the streets and not understand comfort. It's gonna happen.
I hear you, man.